Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special episode of SGI TV, as tonight we have the finals of our under 70kg and our under 90kg tournaments. I'm Kenny McBride, and joining me in the commentary position from the referee position earlier in the evening is world champion Shay Montague. Shay, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to watch some good jiu-jitsu.
Well, let's have a look at what these matches are going to be. In our 90kg tournament coming up first, we are going to be seeing Cormac Anderson from Draig taking on Steven Playfair from Playfair Jiu-Jitsu. This is a Wales versus Scotland tournament final. Shay, who do you think's got the edge here?
I think Steven's probably more experienced as a competitor, but he's more known for competing in the gi. He recently came third in the Europeans brown belt in the gi, so I would probably give the edge just a little bit to Cormac. He's less experienced, but this is the rule set that he competes more often in, so I should expect him to be able to kind of edge it out with this style of competing. This is
going to be a fascinating contest between Cormac and Steven, so let's go backstage and hear what both of them have got to say about the match, hearing first from Steven Playfair.
It's his final. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. Just obviously get a quick warm up and then be good to go. Same plan as before, basically. Like to implement my game and push the pace and obviously get the sub is obviously always the goal. So, yeah.
Is there anything you anticipate about your opponent?
I'm not really sure. I've not actually even seen his match, unfortunately, but I think he's quite keen on wrestling and outside passing. So obviously be savvy and kind of aware of that and see how we get on with it. Obviously, just like I say, look to implement my game and not let him implement his. So, yeah, no, I feel good.
What do you think will give you that edge to take the win? You know.
I mean, it's just whatever experience you have in the past, your previous training and whatnot. I don't think there's anything too kind of fancy when it comes down to it. Whoever implements their game best in the day will usually win the day. That and a little bit of luck, and that's kind of how it goes.
Great, well, best of luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I managed to calm down now, get the heart rate low again, get some food in, rest up, watch my teammates compete as well, and now just prepare for the next. I'll warm up in a few minutes and start moving about, get my mobile again, and ready for the final.
How are you feeling about the final when you're in competition?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I don't really know much about this guy. I haven't faced him before or not seen him compete. So looking forward to it. Be a bit of the unknown going in there. Hopefully just be able to display the jiu-jitsu that I train every day and put on a good show.
Have you got any particular approach that you're going to take?
I think if he pulls guard, I think it'll be very similar to the first match. I'll be looking to use my side-to-side passing and be able to go to north-south and get the pass, which will probably force a back take or mount again. Those two will be great options.
Well, a very confident interview from Cormac Anderson coming in here. Shay, how do you think these two guys shape up?
I was going to predict that Steven was going to pull guard, and here we go, he's playing on bottom. I think Cormac's going to do, like he said in the interview, and he's going to try and run around the head and tire Steven out. This is a very popular form of passing at the moment in no-gi, and it's good because the person on bottom gets tired. It usually pays dividends towards the end of the match.
Yeah, he is really working on that passing, as you said, just moving side to side, making Steven Playfair work. And we've said this before, but guard retention is one of the more grueling parts of jiu-jitsu, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the hardest things to master. I think it's interesting here in the other matches, Steven was using a lot of butterfly guard, but Cormac isn't stepping in and allowing him to establish this guard.
I'm sure Cormac has been keeping an eye on the other matches, ready for whatever anyone had to throw at him. But yeah, with that passing, that side-to-side passing, it's not going to give a lot of opportunities for butterfly entries, is it?
Oh, here we go though. Steven had a bit of a guillotine action. Oh, nice wrestle up attempt.
Yeah.
Straight into the side control. He really used that underhook to force him flat. That was beautiful technique there.
Yeah, that was a very quick turnaround and got Cormac pretty well flattened out there.
As soon as Steven got to his butterfly guard, he looked really, really comfortable and confident.
Oh, looking for the back there, but Cormac just sneaks out and then just goes straight back to that same style of passing. It is just a matter of persistence sometimes, passing guard, isn't it, Shay?
Oh, 100%. Especially in no-gi where it's quite easy to push people off because you don't have the grips to pull you in. You have to go again and again and again, and eventually you can get somewhere. Steven trying for the same attack. Guillotine off the butterfly guard.
Yeah, tried to elevate him over, but didn't quite get him high enough there.
He's trapped a bit in the half guard here. This isn't the best position for Steven. Cormac can start putting some pressure on here.
And he certainly is putting on some pressure. Got the head and arm tied up there already.
And he's managed to get Steven flat on his back. When you're flat on your back in half guard, it's a lot harder to attack.
Yeah, I think anybody who's ever done any jiu-jitsu knows being flattened in half guard is pretty much the most miserable position.
Oh, so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable.
Especially when somebody's got your head and arm that tightly controlled as well. It's just there's so much less space to move in.
There's the double risk here that when Cormac does pass, he can immediately start attacking the submission.
Yeah. That's basically a head and arm choke set up already.
Oh,
and there
pass here.
Yeah, it does pop out into side control. Looks for mount, but gets thrown off and goes straight back into passing.
Oh, nice sweep into leg lock attempt here by Steven. He's going to try and pull that heel towards him, but he's kind of ended up a bit smashed in a leg drag here. Oh, he's made it work. This is a really good position for Steven to be able to try leg locks. He's going to try and spin all the way to the inside to expose the heel and go for the heel hook finish.
Yeah, Cormac just keeping his legs straight, trying to pull out. He's off the mat already, so Marcelo Coppa is going to stop this as soon as there's any kind of break.
This, I'm assuming, is going to be a neutral reset.
Yeah, it's well seen that you're a referee, Shay. How do you make that decision?
Because it was kind of a fluid position where he was looking to try and entangle the legs, so there was no stability, so you're not able to reset in the position.
I see.
You need a stable position to reset.
This is why it's good to have a referee in the commentary booth. But we see Cormac then again just trying to run around.
You see how every time Steven sits up, he starts pulling down on his head? This is really uncomfortable for the person on bottom. It's annoying, and it puts pressure on your back, and it really tires you out, so this is a good strategy by Cormac.
Yeah, but Cormac now attacking the back again. Got the butterfly, the seatbelt rather. No hooks yet.
There seems to have been a bit of a momentum shift after Steven's initial successful sweep to side control. It seems now the momentum shifted in Cormac's favour. But that's the beauty of this side-to-side passing, is it definitely tires out the bottom player. Nice little top spin here.
Of course, Steven did, I think, have maybe slightly tougher earlier round matches.
I don't know, I feel
it's
like
hard to say, but
the toughest and closest match of the tournament was Cormac versus Cal.
No, that's true.
It was a very, very hard
That is
match.
true. Cal Eleanor is a tough fight for anybody.
Oh, nice, chasing the back here. He's got the one hook across. Oh, he's
Trying
immediately
to trap
looking
off
to
the
trap
arm,
an
yeah.
So Cormac's firmly in the driving seat now, I think. So this position will be reset in the same position because it was more stable. Marcelo realised it was going towards the edge and there's a chance to reset, and now he's going to set them back in the same position.
Yeah, I think Steven Playfair might have been hoping for an escape there at the edge of the mat, but no such luck. And here, Cormac again trying to scrape that foot down to trap the arm off.
Talking about that reset, there's a wily wee trick that seasoned competitors like to do, is when they're close to the edge, they go crazy so that there can't be a neutral, there has to be a neutral reset.
And that's how you win world championships, folks.
It's one way, I suppose.
That's not fair. Shay, of course, is a legendary finisher. He would never play the game like that.
If I had to.
Cormac Anderson here, though, like we said, he had been doing well on the back there, but Steven Playfair managed to shake him off.
It'll be interesting to see Steven's strategy on top, because last time he was on top, he went straight to side control. Oh, didn't seem to have much going on there. Around the head again. Yeah, this is definitely tiring Steven out.
Yeah, the difference in his guard retention is noticeable, and that arm is now trapped, I think, under Cormac's knee. If he can bring that down, that's going to make life pretty miserable for Steven Playfair.
Be interesting to see if once he's passed, Cormac changes up his strategy, because he's got past and attacked the back a few times, and he's never really been able to open Steven up once he has. He's going for a half Nelson here to try and put some pressure on Steven. Oh, he's going for the head and arm again.
Yeah, very similar position to earlier. And like you said, if he can get the pass here, it's a very effective position.
Oh, he's flattened him out from the back. This is a horrible position to be in. Oh, managed to force himself back into 3/4 mount.
Yeah, Steven really doesn't look comfortable here.
We seem to just see the same position again and again. That head and arm choke seems to be really dominant, that position for Cormac.
Yeah, I mean, you do feel like if he can slide that foot through, get to mount, the arm triangle is going to be there.
Just a tiny bit of Steven's hands in, that's probably going to save him if Cormac passes.
Well, let's see if he can get that. I think he has got his other foot out. Yeah, he's into mount now. Trying to just tighten up that head and arm control, trying for that arm triangle.
Oh, Steven's free from that.
Yeah, Steven just wriggling and writhing, pummeling his arm back in. Oh, posting right on his mouth there. Just.
Oh, Steven's getting aggressive here, falling back for the leg lock. I think with this little time left in the match, this is a good strategy from Steven. He just has to go balls to the wall.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, this is a nice, interesting scramble here. We went from Steven trying to jump on a submission to Cormac attacking his own armbar.
Yeah, I think we have seen, though, the pace of this one wearing on Steven Playfair as we get to the time limit there.
I think that's a comfortable win for Cormac. He managed to impose his passing game and tire Steven out.
Yeah, I mean, brave performance from Steven Playfair all through this tournament, but really impressive performance from the young man from Team Draig. I think Cormac Anderson really putting down a marker for the future here at SGI. So we wait now for the judge's decision, but as Shay said, I think it's pretty clear.
It'll be interesting to see what matches they have lined up for Cormac in the future.
Yeah,
nice
well,
back on the show for sure.
We will be seeing that soon, I hope. Of course, the next SGI event happening in October. We will be there. We hope that both of these men will be as well. We'd love to see both of them back. And there we see SGI President James McIntyre presenting the trophy and the big novelty check. Cormac Anderson obviously very happy to take that back with him to Wales.
It's going to be a bit awkward cashing that one in at the bank. Trying to slide it through the teller box.
But yeah, that's a great performance from Cormac Anderson. Let's get backstage now and hear from both Cormac and Steven Playfair after a tremendous tournament final.
What did you feel? Just reflect a wee bit on the match, things that you felt went well for you and things where you found it challenging?
I mean, I was pretty happy with a few of the exchanges, a few of the scrambles. I think for me, the biggest letdown was my kind of conditioning and cardio. Fortunately, I mean, I was just saying to the lad that won it, all credit to him, he was really, really good, obviously. Conditioning and cardio for me was a big problem there, definitely. Would love to be able to come up more on the scrambles. Unfortunately, was ill the other week there. And again, like I was saying to the chap, no one ever has the perfect prep for these things, so you just try to get on with it and try and crack on and do your best. But a match like that with someone who's so explosive and really pushing the pace, it's hard to slow the game down. So I did what I could. Definitely some technical exchanges there I need to review and have a look at and some of the transitions. But overall, over the evening I was happy with performance. Obviously I would love to have gotten W there. I think there's a few times where I had a couple of dominant positions where I should have really have looked to kind of lock down that position and try to kill the scramble. I think I could have possibly taken the match in a different direction. But again, he implemented his strategy, obviously, which was pushing the pace and have a scrambly, more wrestling-based match. And that was his game plan, and he implemented it. So, yeah, fair play to him, and he obviously did really good.
What have you been at the whole competition today and your experience?
Yeah, it's been good. Like I said earlier as well, it's good to get the experience in these kind of tournaments. They're obviously different to the regular competitions most people will run, so I think it's definitely a good platform to get this experience and do bigger stages and things like that. So it's something I want to do more of for sure and kind of keep testing myself. So yeah, obviously dejected, but that's how jiu-jitsu goes ultimately.
So what's next for you?
I need to have a look at the calendar and see. I know quite a few of the guys are competing at the end of next month. Basically just have a look at the calendar and see what everyone's schedule is, and then have a look at a few people to chat to here about actually and work out what the next one's going to be, whether it be a gi tournament or a no gi one. Probably try and get another no gi one, I think.
Great, well,
Stuff.
good luck.
Thank you. Thanks. Cheers.
Just start by just reflecting on the fight a bit,
Yeah.
how you're feeling at the moment.
Yeah, it's just similar, as I said, similar to the first match. Thanks to my coach, like said that it was going to be a similar pull guard, attack the legs, and I managed to use my loose passing and managed to end up past the guard a couple of times. I did get tied up, but managed to just straight strip out, follow the plan, and yeah, and come home with the trophy. So really, really happy. Yeah, it's been a great day out overall as well. The whole team been really enjoyable. Yeah.
So what can you say about this event?
Oh, the event's class. Yeah, really good. I'd love to come back, do it again, defend the title. The tournament format's great. As my coach said, it's sort of more similar to like ADCC, where you've got a couple hours, a good chunk of time in between matches. So you have to really cool down, get some food, hydrate properly, and then come back out on the next one. I think that's what kept me going all through my gas tank, because I felt my opponent in the final match did gas a bit, and I was able to just push him on that pace in the last sort of third of the match.
Talk a little bit about your opponent and the challenges that you were up against in the fight.
Yeah, his legs he felt like he was sucking me in the whole time. So I just tried to stay on the outside, stay loose, and then close the space when I needed to. And then the back, he'd turtled, and then the back was there. But yeah, it was really good. Massive respect to him, put on a really good fight, and well done for beating his other opponents as well. Yeah.
Well done.
Cheers, thank you very much. Thank you guys.
Well, Shay, as you predicted before the match, Cormac Anderson did just edge that one out against Steven Playfair. But Steven Playfair, great performance in the tournament as a whole. Well, I'm sure we'll see both of these guys back here, won't we?
Oh, it was a fantastic tournament. Some fantastic matches, some hard-fought matches for both guys throughout the tournament, and it culminated in a really interesting final. We had momentum switches, with Steven taking the early lead, and then Cormac managing to impose his game. So, all in all, it was like a mini-movie unfolding before our eyes.
It certainly was. And now we get on to our other tournament final, the under 70 kilos. And once again, this is a Scotsman in Seany Stewart taking on a member of Team Draig in Joshua Williams. Shay, do you think Seany Stewart can bring it home for Scotland in this one?
I think this is going to be a very close match. This is the match that I was hoping was going to happen from the beginning of the tournament, because there's a bit of history here. Not only did they both face each other at purple belt, Seany recently fought Josh's brother and lost that match. It was a really interesting, exciting match. This is his chance for redemption. He's 0-2 against the Williams brothers, and now he has a chance to win one back.
Yeah, it's going to be a great fight. So let's hear from both competitors, from Seany Stewart and first from Draig's Josh Williams.
How are you feeling at the moment?
I got Seany left now in the final. That's why I came to the fight, really. I didn't really like the other guys, to be honest. I didn't want to sound arrogant in my earlier interviews, because if I lost them, I'd sound like a right knob. But I came here to fight Seany, really. He's going to be my biggest test this year so far. I respect him. I think he's one of the top 10, 15 sub-70 guys in the UK, and I think I'm one of them, and I think I want to solidify myself as top 5, and then hopefully start tonight with Seany.
You're going to go all the way though, you're ready to...
Yeah, I've cracked a can of Monster now, wake up a little bit, been saving it for this match, so I'm going to get after, get a bit of energy, get a bit of kick my ass, and hopefully come back victorious against a high-level competitor.
And how particular tactics you're going to be applying?
I think stylistically, Seany's a great match for me. He's quite slow-paced, but he goes quite slow and explodes into stuff. So I'm hoping that he'll pull on me, and I just build pressure on him, and hopefully just force him into let me pass, basically.
Right, thanks very much.
Just want to get started so I can get over and done with. You know what I mean? Hopefully I win again. You know what I mean? But trying not to think about it. You know what I mean? Trying to shut it all off.
So short and sweet from Seany Stewart there as we get things started here. Seany Stewart versus Joshua Williams. Now, Josh Williams, obviously, as we know, from the Williams family, legendary name now in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and around the UK. But Seany Stewart has got a pretty good reputation here in SGI.
Yeah, Seany is definitely, I think, for the whole of the UK, one of the up-and-coming black belts in the sub-only scene. It's really exciting to watch. I'm expecting a really fluid match here. They're both comfortable in every position and kind of happy to give up positions to attack submissions and stuff, which we see happening here. Josh fell to bottom to try and attack a leg lock. It'll be interesting because the Williams brothers are famous for being unheel hookable because of their flexible feet, and Seany's known for his heel hooks. So we might see some interesting exchanges here in the leg lock positions.
Now, when you say unheel hookable, Shay, what does that mean?
They have these really flexible feet that seem to be able to bend totally straight, and it means they can hide the heel, which is how you defend a heel hook. If you can't grab a hold of the heel, you can't submit someone with it.
Well, we are going to have to watch those feet then.
Here we see Seany trying to pull himself underneath. Josh probably to attempt a leg lock or a back take.
Yeah, getting a little bit of elevation there, inverting underneath.
The other thing the Williams brothers are famous for is their knee cuts. They're really, really good at those, so it's not a surprise to see that Josh is attempting numerous knee cuts here. Oh, nice little jumping pass attempt to the side from Josh.
Yeah, and then back into that knee cut, just like you said.
Right leg knee cuts. You'll see them every time the Williams brothers compete.
Well, if it works, then keep going.
Got kind of like a bit of a pseudo X-guard position here from Seany, but Josh is able to extricate himself quite nicely.
And then back into another knee cut.
Oh, a wrestle up attempt here from Seany.
And gets Josh down and off the mat.
There's nothing better in jiu-jitsu than watching someone aggressively push someone off the mat. I think it's quite exciting.
Yeah, it's both guys, I think, keen to win here, it's fair to say.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line. There's redemption for Seany and a big win for Josh. And £250. That's always nice, isn't it?
Well, nobody ever says no to a cash prize in jiu-jitsu, do they?
Well, it's nice how Josh is pinning this wrist here. This means that Seany can't use his hand, and he's stuck on that side. More knee cut action, but so far Seany's been able to defend very well. He keeps trying to get under Josh, but to no avail so far.
Yeah, I mean, very aggressive top game. We've seen it from all the Draig guys tonight, even one or two guys on the undercard. They're really...
that was a little leg lock entry there.
Really hard workers, really pushing a pace. Seems to be a bit of a trademark for the Draig guys.
Seany has this really relaxed style that seems to lull his opponents into a false sense of security, and then boom, he attacks. He never seems to get tired.
Yeah, we've talked about this before about how bored Seany sometimes looks during matches. But we've heard him talking about in interviews. He's not thinking when he's out there. He's in a wee kind of trance.
Nice back take attempt here by Josh. Maybe able to attack a triangle too off it. No.
Yeah, but Seany shakes him off and back on top himself.
Man, Seany's defense is so good. People try and attack his back, he defends brilliantly. People try and attack guillotines, he escapes brilliantly. Talking about Seany's relaxed style and bored look, I've trained with him, and every time I look at him, he looks so bored, and it's a bit demoralising. You're like, I'm trying really hard here, and he's just looking at you like he's thinking about what's for dinner, if he's left the oven on or something.
To be fair, Shay, I think he's probably having to work fairly hard to deal with you.
It certainly doesn't look like it.
There's Seany trying to elevate again.
Nice bit of cross-face pressure here from Josh, trying to work that underhook. Seany's doing a good job of not overframing. Sometimes in the no-gi, if you overframe, people can get a clamp underhook and then are able to pass straight into submissions, and Seany's doing a really good job of not overframing. Oh, and he's in on the legs here. Be interesting to see how this scramble goes. He's got a good attacking position here to Seany.
Yeah, it does look like he might be trying to expose the heel there, but
Josh gets his weight back for his foot.
Josh gets back up on that foot, makes it obviously much harder to
can't
attack.
really submit somebody with any form of leg lock if their foot's through the floor, because you can't bend the foot, you can't expose the heel. But now you see how the foot's off the floor. This gives Seany a chance to attack ankle locks. Very popular right now is the Aoki lock, and you can go for that from there really easily. But this is a really good escape by Josh. He's managed to fold his knee and start putting pressure on Seany.
Just two very, very technically skilled guys here, aren't it?
There's so many really interesting little leg pummeling battles going on. where they're fighting for little positions and little inches to impose their own games. This is a better position for Josh here. Seany's kind of up on his side. His legs aren't really doing anything other than just clamping on Josh's legs, which means that Josh can attack. You see how he's got his body locked too? If he frees his leg, he might be able to jump to the back. And now he's sitting into his own saddle position, maybe looking to attack his own leg lock. Oh, Seany's meant to turn this to his advantage.
Wow.
Coming up on a leg drag. Josh is pretty adamant to not accept bottom position. Every time Seany almost sweeps him, he fights back to his feet. Often in sub only, because there's no real penalty for being on bottom, you see people accept sweeps instead of risking giving up their back and stuff. Whereas Josh seems to be fighting it as if it was a points tournament. But now he's into 50-50 here. So this will be interesting because they can both attack each other's heels, so it'll be a bit of a leg lock shootout. Josh seems to be winning at the moment though, he got the inside spin.
But Seany potentially getting a tiny glance at the back there.
Yeah, had a nice crab ride entry. This is really where I wanted the match to go, as sort of like a grappling fan, the two of them trying to attack each other's legs, scramble for the back. So I thought it would be most interesting.
And both of Seany's legs wrapped up there.
Josh comes back on top.
Josh
Seany's
again.
going to invert for the legs here, but every time he does this, Josh sprawls back, hiding his knee line.
And they tumble off the mat.
Neutral reset, I think.
Yeah. It is an exciting one, though.
It's always interesting watching the under 70 after the under 90 and how different the styles are between the two different weight classes.
Yeah, I mean, both these guys very flexible, very keen on the inverting game, but...
Oh, nice leg lock entry for Josh there. He pulled guard this time. Immediately attacking Seany's legs, but Seany's got his own bite. See here, I reckon Josh will just slip his heel because they just disappear. Yeah, heels away. It's a tricky one for the ref here. They're both trying to attack submissions and they're right on the edge, but you don't want to break up the action. See, every time Seany wraps the heel, Josh just points his toes and it just disappears.
Yeah, that is very unusual, isn't it?
And now he's attacking his own heel hook, but Seany's hiding his heel. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Josh try and combine to a back take or something here. And they're off the mat.
I think Marcel Coppa trying to let the action go here as much as he can, but that's time.
That's a very good match, that. It's really hard to call. I think both people had good shots and good attacks, so we'll see what the judges decided.
I think we all know who the crowd wants to see win this one. Let's see what the judges have to
Hometown
say.
hero.
And there is Seany Stewart.
A bit of a fairy tale story for him. Gets redemption in his hometown. I know some of his family's in the crowd watching, so I'm sure this win means a lot to him.
Yeah, Seany always brings a crowd. He's always got family in the audience.
I saw him crack a smile there too. First time he hasn't looked bored all night.
Oh, and we're even going taps off.
That's what the fans really came for.
But there he is again, James McIntyre presenting him with that trophy. Beautiful big novelty check. Seany Stewart, really, I mean, like we said at the beginning of the tournament, he's appeared on almost every SGI.
Yeah, he
and
seems
it's great to see him.
We seem to have watched him mature as a competitor. Recently he's had a few matches that have been rematches of matches he's lost, and he's been able to win. So it's interesting to see him grow. I know I think he's a bit older, around 30, but he still seems to be growing a lot as a grappler, and it's always exciting to tune in and watch him compete.
Well, let's get backstage now and hear from Sean Stewart, and first from Josh Williams.
I felt like the match could have gone either way. I felt I was pushing a lot on top, which allowed him to play his game on bottom. Whereas if I think I'd done less, he would have done less. And maybe I could have tactically tried to play the rules better or try and win on a technicality. Unfortunately, it's not my style. I like to push for the win. Props to him. He had his game plan, stuck to it, did a good job there. But I definitely think, for me, I thought it was a super close match and could have gone either way, so I'd obviously very much like a rematch for the title. Yeah, just what it is.
So how's the tournament been for you?
Oh, great. Like, I think it's run on time. Maybe start a little bit earlier, some got to be earlier, but do you know what I mean? It's just a long day for everyone. But in terms of the professionalism, warm-up area, the setup, can't fault it. It was a great day.
Yeah, and what's next for you?
I'm fighting on Grapple Awards the title next weekend, and then 3 weeks today I'm fighting on Victory for the title on that as well. So I got a busy schedule, and then probably off then, to be honest with you, for 6 to 8 weeks. I got a baby due in like 10 days, so I got to take a bit of time with it.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
How did you find that match today?
Very difficult. I don't remember what happened. I don't know. I'm just really happy I won it. Trying to think, I actually can't remember what happened. That one I was a lot more tired than the first two put together, by far. Josh is really good. I'm actually surprised I won. I didn't know who won at the end. I thought it was pretty even from what I can remember, but I don't remember a lot. I kind of blank out a wee bit, you know what I mean? Yeah, I watch it and then remind it all, you know what I mean? That's about it though.
So how are you feeling?
Alright. Pretty good. Aye, alright. Tomorrow I'll forget about it and we'll just start training again. 10 o'clock Likings if anybody's wanting to come to an open mat.
What I was going to say, so can you just tell us maybe what were some of the challenges that you've had with your opponent there?
He's fucking class. He actually is though. He's from a much bigger gym, obviously. His brother's Ashley Williams, but like, as I said, I competed against him at purple belt. He beat me then as well. Didn't count though because it was gi. But just like, as I said, he's just from a bigger, well-structured kind of gym. He has a lot more kind of going for him that way. Where when you go to Kilmarnock, where I'm from, I kind of run what I do, which isn't the best decision, to get what I mean. But family and stuff and having wins, I can't go anywhere else. My girlfriend works like full time, so I like luckily get like 3 days a week where I get like a couple hours to do a PT and then roll, and then teach when she comes home at night. So like my time's all taken up. That's why I'm actually surprised I got this thing. I mean, that is though.
One last thing is just tell us what did you make of the whole tournament overall?
Class. Much better than the last time. Not that any other time's been bad. This one's the best one so far. Mainly because I won. It would be a downer if I didn't.
So Shay, like we said, a real kind of fairy tale ending for Seany Stewart in this tournament. Like you said, he'd lost to Ash Williams once before, lost to Josh Williams once before, but got a bit of redemption tonight in front of his hometown crowd.
Yeah, it was a wonderful ending to a wonderful night.
Yeah, we've had two great tournaments. The under 90 kilo tournament, of course, won by Cormac Anderson, a great final there against Steven Playfair. Seany Stewart bringing it home for the Scots in the final. It's been a wonderful night of jiu-jitsu. It's been a wonderful few weeks here on SGI TV. I want to thank Giles Garcia, our commentator for the previous rounds. I want to thank Shay, our commentator tonight. And I want to thank all the team at SGI for making life so easy for us. It's been a pleasure making these shows. Shay, thank you very much for joining me.
It's been a pleasure.
Fans, thank you for joining us. We are going to be back with SGI 12, but until then, you can keep in touch with us. You can follow all the undercard matches that we're going to be bringing out over the next few weeks.